Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm actually going to be talking to you guys about why we decided to stop using All About Spelling with my oldest daughter. If you are new to my channel, I'm a homeschooling mom. I have a kindergartner and a second grader. My girls are 5 and 7. They're on the younger end of their grade levels, just for reference and point of context. With my oldest, we started using All About Spelling level 1 last year when she was in first grade. And then we finished that up and then switched over to level 2 this year. And I still actually have both programs here, so I can share those with you. And over the summer, I started looking into Charlotte Mason, methodology and pedagogy more. And we started to kind of have a shift in our homeschool in the way that we approach not just language arts, but everything that we're doing. And with that, we decided that All About Spelling and the way that they approach it was not really serving us anymore, and it was just adding a little bit more to our plate than we needed it to. So I'm going to share with you all of that, our thought process, why, because if you're a family like us, it might save you the trouble of spending the money on it and doing all that, because I went ahead, I broke it out, the student activities into the binder and everything, so I am going to sell this to somebody so they'll have all the work done for them. But hopefully this will be informative and help you make a decision on if All About Spelling is right for you. I don't think it's a bad program. I just want to preface that. I think it's actually a very good program. It just did not work for our homeschool style, my daughter's learning style, etc. So first, I just wanted to give a little background on All About Spelling, an overview of the program, how it works. So there's 7 levels of All About Spelling. If you use All About Reading, they recommend to start level 1 after you've finished, I think, level 1 of All About Reading, because then you'll be able to do the spelling bit. I think you'll have enough knowledge of the sounds that the letters make, phonics, etc. We didn't do All About Reading. My oldest daughter was much more naturally inclined towards reading, so I didn't have to do a lot of heavy lifting with the phonics. We went through a phonics program called Elemental Phonics that was perfect for her, and she sped through that and finished that up in first grade. And then after that, we just moved on to reading good literature. And so when I introduced level 1, that was after she had finished that phonics program. We could have probably introduced it sooner, but I was a new homeschooling mom, and I was just kind of like, we're done with phonics. What do we do now? Let's probably do spelling. So everybody around me was like, hey, check out All About Spelling. It's a great program. It's it's called Orton Gillingham. I'm probably butchering that. I'm so sorry. The Orton Gillingham approach, which is supposed to be really good for children who have dyslexia or other learning difficulties when it comes to spelling and or phonics. And this is a really good program. It's award-winning, etc. My daughter, my oldest, because I think she just picked it up so fast, I actually think this was just too much for her. It was overhandling, and then she was getting frustrated by the program because it was too much. She's like, can we just move on to the next lesson? Like, why are we doing all these activities and all these other things? And so do I think that we could have continued the program if we hadn't switched over to a more Charlotte Mason approach, and just cut off some of the fat and the activities, I would say, like, trimmed it down? Probably, but then for the cost, it just seems like a lot of money to cut up and chop up this program. You should use it in its entirety if you need it, right? So it comes with the teacher's manual. Each level has a teacher's manual. It's pretty hand-holding in the way that it'll give you, look at the little raccoon, it'll give you a script on what to do. It'll tell you which cards to pull up from your cards that you get in the student pack. I have 2 levels. I have level 1 and level 2 in one box. So yes, 2 levels does fit in one box if you wanted to know that information. And so I do like how they segment it out. In the yellow cards are your phonogram cards. The red is your sound cards. Blue, you learn rules, like phonetical rules. And then green are your word cards. You'll literally do spelling with words in the cards. So you have to buy, or actually no, excuse me. I think this came with the first level, but you can buy this separately if you have more than one kid, etc. You can get the box on its own. But I think if you buy the first level bundle, the box came with it, or I had to buy it separately. I will list it right here. what it is because I'm sorry, it's just been so long since I purchased it. I can't remember if the box came with the bundle or if I had to purchase it separately, but it is a one-time purchase regardless. The other thing that you get if you buy the whole bundle, I've broken it out into a binder, but it very much looked like this, just with this cover, and it's a workbook and it has a lot of activities in it, and it has different rules and things like that. But if you use this, especially with more than one child, putting it in a binder like this to make it more reusable for the next kid and so on and so forth, it saves you a lot of time. And so it'll come with that, the cards, the box, the teacher's manual, and you do have to buy this separately. You either have to purchase, well, I guess you don't have to. If you don't want to use the program as is, you can do something different. But you either purchase magnetic tiles and then you have to get a whiteboard to stick them on, and it's all your phonograms, it's all your letters and things like that. Or they have an app, which I actually decided to go with because it's a one-time cost. It was $19.95, I think, and you can use it across as many kids as you want. You put it on your iPad and they just move the tiles on the screen. I also just didn't want a million little pieces to run after. The problem with that is that eventually I moved into a place of I don't want to use screens anymore or as much in my homeschool, or just in our life in general. So I was like, oh, like I hate that I did the screen, but I think I still made the right call because I think doing the whiteboard and the magnetic tiles and losing those would have been much more traumatic and demanding of me to keep in track of them. So, so that's everything that comes in each level. Well, not each level. Again, box is a one-time purchase. I actually do remember, I think this is separate. The box is separate. You do have to purchase it. So box was a one-time cost per kid. And then the app was a one-time cost per family. Everything else is just you buy it in the package. So when we were using level 1 last year, it worked wonderfully for us. I was also a brand new homeschool mom. It made me feel confident that my daughter wasn't going to have any gaps in her spelling and learning her initial phonics and things like that, because phonics and so reading and spelling are different sides of the same coin. One is decoding, that's reading, and then encoding, meaning you're putting it back together the other way. So it's just, you're just doing it backwards and forwards. That's all it is. So reading is generally much easier for children to pick up, because you're decoding what's already there. Encoding, you're creating something from nothing. They're just remembering, okay, how did I spell that word? So it's a little tougher, but I wanted to bring in a spelling program that would then reinforce the phonics program that my oldest had just finished. And I'm really glad that we did do level 1. I felt like as a brand new homeschooling mom, last year was our first year, it gave me confidence, and I was going through some growth myself as a homeschool mom, learning, reading about different teaching styles, classical, Charlotte Mason, well, neoclassical, I should say, and then Charlotte Mason, unit study style, unschooling, like all of that. I was doing so much research, and I think it was perfect for what I needed at that time. And because it was perfect, I was like, well, we'll obviously get level 2 when she finishes level 1. But then this year, when we started digging in, we had taken such a different approach and settled into our Charlotte Mason philosophy of education that this was just too much based on what Charlotte Mason recommends. And it also, not just on her recommendation, it was too much for my kid. So what we've decided to do instead is fully embrace a Charlotte Mason approach to our entire language arts. We still do a little more than Charlotte Mason even recommends, but it's still things that I just, we're not purist when it comes to Charlotte Mason. So I think I'm a big fan of just do what works for your family, but Charlotte Mason, like 95% of it works wonderfully for our family, so that's what we do. But what we've done is our spelling now comes from the McGuffey Eclectic Readers. I have the entire set of them. There's 6 plus the primer, so 7 books I think in total. And I got these on eBay, the hard books. These are the originals, like beautiful books. I got it off eBay for $40, so I went ahead and snagged the whole thing. It was a steal. I had to get it. But these, every lesson has a picture, so we do a picture study with it. It has words for the lesson or phonograms. It has a passage that your child's meant to read. And what I do is I take this And I pair it with this Mason McGuffey lesson book. It's a PDF file that I got off of Verily Schoolhouse. I have a 10% off code actually to her entire shop. She's all Charlotte Mason and all these beautiful homeschooling PDFs. So I'll leave the code right here for you and I'll list her shop down below. But I like that it's a PDF because I bought it once and I can print off one of these every year for my child. And my second kiddo, I'll print one for her next year because she'll be doing the first reader. But it has a spot for each lesson where you can do a narration, a picture narration if your child likes to draw. It has copy work, also a spot for copy work, dictation, but more importantly, it has a place to do spelling. So what I do, there's 10 lines and then 3 across. What I do for our spelling now is I write 10 of the words. Sometimes there are only 10, sometimes there's more than that, but I pick the ones that I know my kiddo is going to be challenged by the most. And so I put them here. And then what she does is she, 1, reads them all, and 2, then she writes the word again right here. Then what we'll do is we'll cover this up and I will read her this list. I'll like take a picture of it with my phone and read from my phone. Okay, it's shade, etc. And then she will do them in this column and then we'll remove it and then she'll check herself and see if she spelled it correctly. If she spells all of them correctly, we just move on. To be fair, we're probably this is a little bit below her level, but I'm okay with going a little slower and it not, it just being easier for her, frankly. I'm okay with that. We'll catch up to a point where it's tough, I promise. But if there's anything that she has a harder time with and there's some words that she's like, I don't know why I can't get this to stick in my brain, I'll have her go the old-fashioned route. We'll talk about why it's spelled that way because I've gotten a really good sense of the phonetical rules, etc. And I will have her write in her normal composition notebook. I'll have her write it 5 times. And, as she's writing it, I have her spell it out, say it out loud and segment the word, etc. And normally that seems to work for her and that's perfect. The other thing I like about this notebook is it has a little spot, new word. If there's a word, she's like, there was one she did recently, oar. O-A-R, like rowing the boat with an oar. And she was like, what is an oar? And so we explained that. And so what she does is she writes it down here. If we need to, we look it up in a dictionary. So it's teaching her dictionary skills. And then what she does is then after that uses it in the context of a sentence. So for the oar one, I think she wrote, actually, let me see if I can find that lesson because we just did it recently. Okay, here it is. She wrote, I used the oar to row the boat. So that helps her then keep it in her head, what does this word mean? How to use it appropriately, etc. So that's been working really, really well for us. She really hasn't had a hard time with it. She's been just doing really, really well with this program. So yeah, I think it's just a really good way for her to approach language arts. The narration helps with composition. Eventually she'll be doing lots of written narrations and then composing eventually in middle school / high school more so. The drawing the narrations helps her just keep the story in her mind's eye, how did the image of the story come to be in her head, and then she puts it down on paper. She's also kind of artistic. She loves art, so that works for her. And then copy work also helps with spelling, but it's more so learning proper grammar. Dictation is the same way. So all of it really helps with spelling, but this portion is really focused on spelling, of course, and the way that we use it. All right, y'all, I hope that was super helpful. If you're looking into All About Spelling, again, I don't think it's a bad program. I think it's a wonderful program, actually. It's just not the right program for us, and that's okay. I've actually thought about maybe keeping both levels for my youngest daughter because I don't know, she's picking up phonics pretty fast though. So I feel like she might be more naturally inclined towards spelling too. So I think I don't know. I'm 95% sure I'm probably just gonna sell both levels and call it a day. And worst case scenario, if I do need to purchase it again for my youngest, I'll purchase it. It's fine. But I think that this is working really well for us. The Charlotte Mason philosophy is working really well from a language arts perspective, and why fix what's not broken, right? But yeah, if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you are new to my channel, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.